Today, we're essentially building a toolkit for one of the hardest things we all have to do: have difficult conversations. We're going to break down how you can take those moments that feel like they're about to explode and turn them into real, genuine connection. So, let's get to it. You know that feeling, right? That moment a conversation starts to go off the rails and you just feel that pit in your stomach. It's that downward spiral of misunderstanding, and it's just frustrating. But what if you actually had a kind of script, a set of go-to tools to guide you through it? Well, that's exactly what we're putting together today. So, what are we even aiming for here? Well, healthy communication is defined as a pattern of honest, respectful, and calm exchanges. And that word pattern is so important. This isn't some rare talent you're born with. Nope, it's a skill. It's something you can build one conversation at a time. And hey, if you're into building up practical skills just like this one, do us a quick favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us create more of these toolkits for you. Okay, let's open up our first tool tray. This one's called the foundation. Because, just like building a house, you can't have a good, productive conversation without a solid base. And that all starts with two things: clarity and calm. The very first tool is to just stop making people guess. Seriously, so much unhealthy communication is filled with hints and subtext where you're supposed to read between the lines. Healthy communication, it's the total opposite. It's direct. You say what you mean, clearly, no hidden meanings. And here's what that actually sounds like. Instead of an attack like, "You never tell me anything," you state your feeling about a very specific action. "I felt left out when you didn't update me." See the difference? One is a big accusation. The other is a clear statement that actually invites the other person to understand you, not fight with you. Now, the second tool in this foundation tray is your tone. Your words can be absolutely perfect, but if your tone is aggressive, it just immediately puts the conversation on a path to conflict. A simple phrase like this one, "I'm upset, but I want to understand," is a game changer. It signals that your goal here is connection, not combat. All right, foundation is set. Now we can move to our second tool tray, which is all about the exchange. This is the active part, the back and forth. And the focus here is on how to actually connect with each other, not just talk at each other. So there's a really simple 3-step flow for a healthy exchange. First, you listen, and you listen just to understand. Then you ask questions to get clearer, and only after that do you express your own feelings. Let's look at each of these. Most of the time, we listen while we're just planning what we're going to say next. Active listening is totally different. Your only goal is to understand what the other person is experiencing. A phrase like, "I didn't realize that's how it felt for you," shows you're actually hearing them, and it instantly lowers their defenses. This is such a critical shift. Think about it. A question like, "Why didn't you do that?" immediately sounds like an attack, right? It puts someone on the defensive. But framing it as, "How can I support you better next time?" Wow. That opens the door to actually solving the problem together. It's about curiosity, not accusation. Okay, this tool right here might be the most powerful one in the whole toolkit. It's using I statements. Just feel the difference between "you hurt me" and "I felt hurt when that happened." The first one is pure blame. The second one is just an honest, undeniable statement about your own feeling. It's not an attack. It's just the truth. So you're having the exchange, things are flowing, but we all know that difficult topics can get messy fast. That brings us to our third tool tray, the guardrails. Think of these like the guardrails on a highway. They're there to keep the conversation from veering off into a ditch. These 3 guardrails are all about one thing: managing emotional safety. And to do that, you've got to keep the conversation focused, you have to allow for breaks if it gets too intense, and you need to keep reminding each other that you're in this together. How many times has a simple talk about who's doing the dishes somehow turned into a giant fight about something that happened 3 years ago? It's a real thing. It's called kitchen sinking. You throw everything in but the kitchen sink. A simple phrase like, "Let's focus on what happened today," keeps the problems small and solvable. This is so important. Healthy communication isn't about powering through no matter what. If you're feeling overwhelmed or just too angry, calling a timeout is a sign of incredible strength. Saying, "I need a moment," isn't about running away from the problem. It's about preserving the respect you need to actually solve it. In a tense conversation, it can really start to feel like you're opponents in a battle. Little reminders that you have a shared goal can be unbelievably powerful. Just saying something simple like, "Hey, we're on the same team here,"
can bring the anxiety way down and remind you both that the relationship is the most important thing.
We're almost done. Our final tool tray is all about the follow-through. Because a healthy conversation doesn't just stop. It wraps up in a way that actually makes the relationship stronger so that you both finish feeling better than when you started.
A huge part of this is how we give feedback. Some people pride themselves on their brutal honesty, but really, that's just truth mixed with cruelty. The healthy way? It's to be honest, absolutely, but also to be kind. You can say what needs to be said while still protecting the other person's dignity. And here's what that kind honesty actually looks like in the wild. It's direct, it uses an I statement to show how you were impacted, and it invites a conversation instead of just starting another fight. This is how you build trust, even when you're talking about tough stuff.
So if we take all these tools and boil them down, what's the big idea? It's really these three things. The goal is always connection, not trying to control the other person. You're not aiming for perfection. It's a pattern of trying your best. And maybe most important of all, when you mess up, and we all will, repair is always possible.
Look, we've gone through a whole bunch of tools today, and trying to use them all at once would be overwhelming. So just take a second and think about it. Out of everything we talked about, which one tool could you try out in your very next tough conversation?
If you found this communication toolkit helpful, the best way to let us know is to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the skills that really matter. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.